I've been seeing a lot more people talking about the death of casual COD. I saw Havoc talking about this on one of his live streams, and I've just been seeing a lot of people in my comment sections and live stream chats talking about how casual COD is sort of dead and the game is sort of fatiguing now. And I wanted to talk about this in depth in this video. We're going to be listing off every variable that goes into playing an online game, as well as discussing why the games feel so exhausting now. I don't have a lot of patience for skill-based matchmaking complaints in here. Skill-based matchmaking is definitely a part of this conversation, and so is EOMM. Trust me, those are frustrating aspects of Call of Duty and a lot of modern shooters. But there are so many variables when it comes to gaming, it is really just impractical for me to summarize everything as a problem with EOMM or SBMM. There's frame rate and bottleneck issues, there's input lag, thermal throttling, VRAM limitations, background processes, RAM speed, storage speed, latency, packet loss, jitter, server congestion, home network overload, skill-based matchmaking, EOMM, matchmaking latency trade-offs. You have people smurfing, you have people leaving the game during content droughts or because of meta stagnation, and that makes the player base smaller, making it even harder to get into decently connected games. Then you have your personal issues. You have sleep, posture, overuse, you have physical fitness, psychological states, and age-related issues. Then you play with the community, and if there's toxicity or communication gaps where no one's really helping you out, or you are dealing with cheaters and hackers, it's rough. There's so many things. A 1% change in your frame rate variance. If you're having micro stuttering, it can make it hard for you to lock in and get better. Shader compilation stuttering on PC. If you have the wrong polling rate on your controller or your mouse and keyboard. If your ISP sucks and you have inefficiency there, and you have network jitter and desync is happening in game. You know anything about your circadian rhythm? Your reaction time naturally dips in the mid-afternoon and late night. Unless your circadian rhythm is completely different, playing at the wrong times, you're just going to be playing with like a percentage decrease in your efficiency. What about your blood sugar, your hydration? And then there's just tilt, frustration, fight or flight, cortisol spikes, for those of you for some reason clinging onto that buzzword. Then there's energy drinks and coffee, which could help you for the first hour, and then you could crash and teeter off and feel your performance drop as the energy drink leaves your system. Hell, the ambient lighting in your room could either be giving you a headache, distracting you passively, or making you sleepy. And then if somebody's backseat gaming you in any way, it makes it even harder to focus. Not everything that makes the game feel sweaty or that makes you feel behind is related to skill-based matchmaking, EOMM, lag, anything like that. There's so many variables. There's so many things that go into our gaming experience. It's why it's really funny when I see somebody when a COD game just comes out and like one fucking day later, somebody's like, oh man, I can't play the game anymore. It's so trash. All of my bullets are missing and the game's just so poopy bad. And it's like, I don't know if that person's like eaten a protein-rich meal and is deficient in some micronutrient, has never taken magnesium in their life. I don't know. I don't know if they're playing on Wi-Fi 6 miles away from their router. I have no idea. There's so much criticism that gets thrown at FPS games that is just like, I don't know what your setup is. I don't know if you're playing with a default stock controller on a TV, like sitting 6 feet away without the TV in game mode through speakers, and your diet consists of Cheetos and microwave burritos, and you get only 4 hours of sleep at night. I don't know. All of those factors in mind, well, they shouldn't be. I mean, really, seriously, take care of yourself, practice, those are the two big ones. Make sure you're on a wired connection and your TV is in game mode or you're playing on a gaming monitor. Don't stress about everything I just said. It's not an impossible world you're living in where there's just a million variables, you'll never get them all right. Life is imperfect, play through the imperfection. I just made a video about how ranked play in Black Ops 7 is so imperfect that it's hard for me to take it seriously and want to play it seriously, but I have been playing it off stream, not really recording, just trying to get better at it because maybe I just want to challenge myself. Sometimes you have to play through the imperfection to remind yourself that imperfection is a part of life. Just because my channel is about criticizing and analyzing and sort of doing essay-type videos doesn't mean that me as a person can't challenge myself with something I deem as imperfect. I'm not the arbiter of truth, I'm just sharing a point of view. A correct, provable point of view, but that's neither here nor there. Jokes aside, what did I not mention here? Gameplay. When Call of Duty took away sprint limitations, when Call of Duty gave players tons of ammo in their magazines, suddenly 60 round, 45 round magazines are normal, and everybody has unlimited sprint. And there was tac sprint, and everybody can slide around corners and wall jump, or, sprint across the map, unlimited sprint, and then slide under your aim and then dive from the slide, shooting at you in the feet with a 45 round magazine that costs nothing on their gun, has no downside. the limits were removed, means the ceiling was removed. Meaning, when that ceiling and those limits are removed, or at least increased or extended, you have people that are rising to meet the extended ceiling. Oh, well, now I can move really fast. Now I have all of this movement, I have all of this ammo. I don't have to lay off the trigger. I don't have to be away from the objective. I can get to the objective, I can hold the trigger, I can mow everybody down. I don't have to commit to my character's placement. I do not have to worry about anything. Back in Modern Warfare 2, people would shoot at you and miss because of random recoil. Back in COD 4, people couldn't just sprint all the way to your spawn at the start of a match because they didn't have unlimited sprint. In Black Ops 1, they couldn't just keep mag dumping and mag dumping and mag dumping at you without the Scavenger Pro perk because they were going to run out of ammunition. And if they ran extended mags, they needed a perk to also run a suppressor, so there were opportunity trade-offs all of the time. Even if you took everybody's skill inflation of the last 20 years and applied it to something like COD 4 or World at War or Modern Warfare 3 or whatever, the games would be less sweaty. People would be pretty proficient, people would be trying to win, people would, again, have the experience, the technical know-how, it'd be harder to catch them doing stupid shit, but their character that they're controlling is limited. So they have to choose their actions more appropriately. They can't enter an engagement on you and leave it just as fast as they entered it with no penalty. Right now in Black Ops 7, you can sprint across the entire map without stopping. When you take damage, you can stim around the corner and immediately trigger your health regeneration. You can run a suppressor with no downsides, extended mags with no downsides, low recoil weapon with just no recoil, and random recoil is gone. And even though I think honestly modern COD requires you to be more precise and less reliant on aim assist, sometimes going back and playing old COD, you really realize how much you just sort of point your gun at somebody, hold the trigger and pray. Anyway, the weapons are more precise, so people are being more precise with them compared to the old days. And so every player presents a series of potential challenges, pushes. They themselves are a near limitless variable on the map. So this is what we sign up for. Something needs to happen here. In my opinion, for Call of Duty to succeed as a casual, competitive FPS game, they need to be able to make the game playable and understandable to the entire realm of its audience without sectioning off and protecting players in different SBMM brackets in order to save them the embarrassment of having to play. A more mechanically limiting game would actually require you to think more about your actions instead of flying around reacting to all the stimuli around you, and then just sort of building muscle memory until you get really good at flying around reacting to the stimuli. I think if we had a Call of Duty game that was a bit slower and a bit more, again, limited, they wouldn't have to do EMM as much, and team balancing wouldn't have to be as strict, and SBMM wouldn't have to really exist, because even though the skill inflation is up, players aren't going to be able to do things to you that you can't really deal with. Right now, sometimes, even good players, you watch them stream. Go watch other content creators, YouTubers, pro players, people better than me. You'll still watch them get frustrated and have deaths where they go, Jesus Christ, how did that person do that? There is an inherently exhausting factor in giving players this much freedom. I think it's kind of fun. I think it's a good time. I don't think it means it's bad, but you're not alone in your exhaustion. The exhaustion is built into the game. It's built into the franchise. There are multitudes of people. If you're ever feeling bad about your BO6 or BO7 performance, understand that there are just been thousands of people avoiding BO6 and avoiding BO7 because they feel like they can't keep up. They feel like they're going to have a tough time. They feel like they're going to have a frustrating set of matches. They feel like there's too much movement. They feel like the game is too random. And while you wouldn't be wrong in saying skill issue, but Call of Duty has never made it easier to play bad positioning and mow down entire enemy teams, which leads to that sweaty feeling. It's what you sign up for when you play a game like Black Ops 7. There's a large amount of people still playing Call of Duty games from years past that are a bit slower and punish you a bit more for sprinting headlong at people because the limitation paces the game all by itself. Black Ops 7 is not sweaty because of just skill-based matchmaking. It's because players are better than they used to be, and more, Call of Duty removes limits off of their players. So more and more, an enemy you're going up against has just way more variability and artillery to hit you with. So this is where I make my point. This is where I give you the solution. If you're not in the mood for it, don't load it up. Or at least when you bitch about it, know what you're bitching about and hope the next game is a little bit more in line with what you want from casual COD. And even though get good is a really terrible argument, in this particular topic, it's not the worst point. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys agree about the casual state of Call of Duty, let me know. If you think you have any solutions on how to fix it, tell me down below. I know SBMM and EOMM takes a big chunk out of my argument here because they do affect this pretty drastically. Even with Black Ops 7's open matchmaking, it's still perceiving my skill level. It still knows I have a hidden MMR and knows where to put me when I'm behaving too well. I just don't think it should be the de facto thing we throw out whenever we're frustrated with the state of the game. I think you could be frustrated about something and understand that something is affecting your game without de facto blaming it every time you're pissed. The world is full of variables, and so are you. See you guys in the next video.